Is there a small table? How about that stool? Can you get that over here?
This one? Oh, this one's being used. There is another one.
Okay.
Here. That stool has a laptop on it.
Okay. So, no, I shouldn't put that there. It's really simple. I don't know. You know what? I think it can stay on top of the amp. I think that's going to be okay. The worst thing about the Smashing Pumpkins thing, though, is that they then had a tour where the graphics were that of Atlas Shrugged. It was like, or they had an Ayn Rand motif for their next tour.
Pumpkins? Both smell like sulfur.
Okay, I'm gonna plug in. So, like I said, we'll start with the song and then we'll move on. Hopefully these don't fall. That would be really nice if they didn't. I don't have my clip tuner, so I may make some sounds when tuning. That's not really avoidable, unfortunately.
Well, we've got 7 minutes.
So is that clock radio accurate at all?
I've got 554.
Okay, that's enough. Let's just move this over so I'm not... can you move the stand just a little so I can put this somewhere central? So it seems like I don't need much besides this, so that's fine. All right. Get together and do it again.
I'm pretty happy with the sound of this. I think,
Yeah?
you know, once, like, we can listen to it back,
Some other time.
no, not now, obviously, but...
Right now,
like,
I'm going to want to leave.
And not immediately, I mean, separately, individually. Go, you know, listen to it once we're done.
Yeah.
And, and we'll see kind of like, you know, you can get a sense of where this was at. But, you know, it seems to be sounding pretty good.
Okay. Okay, those should be okay.
So right now, yeah, it's on the still.
So that's the camera, right? So if I show this, it'll see it.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
Can you see on the screen there? Now you're on your.
Okay.
See, whatever's on the top right corner, that's
Okay.
what's active.
All right.
So I can switch. There's me.
Okay.
I can turn to me.
So ask guiding questions and pretend to be super interested in what I have to say about, because you haven't heard it either, right?
Yeah, I'm real lousy with questions. But,
Just be boisterous.
oh yeah, boisterous I can do. Boisterous.
So, okay, I think everything's okay.
All right.
So as soon as you start, it'll be like 1, 2, 3. My friend, don't just okay. Oh great, I have my car keys in my pocket.
4 minutes.
Oh, is this mic on?
Technically not.
Is there something I
Also-
can share or something?
In terms of a mic?
No, in terms of on Facebook or something.
Oh, well, the event. I mean, it's too late. Oh, we got 4 minutes.
Let's just quickly share.
I'll see if I can,
reshare it.
if I can do it in 4 minutes.
Alright, I'll just
There
leave
it
this
is.
Be ready. Yes, thank you for that. Let's hope my phone doesn't ring. No, I'll put it on mute right now. There it is. Share. Let's hope I don't have massive diarrhea in the middle of this.
Let's hope.
I'd be like, for the next 45 minutes. Isn't my sense of humor mature?
Yeah.
So do you have a mic to talk into, or are you?
No, like I say,
Yeah.
So that microphone is like a compressor. So when we're not playing music, it cranks it up.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm, you're projecting, you can hear. Yeah. There's so many microphones in this room.
Okay.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 microphones, possibly 1, 2, 3, 6 microphones in front of me. But yeah, as long as you talk loud, like it'll hear you.
So the songs will sort of straddle the 10-minute marks, kind of thing. Where I don't even. I wish I'd worked it out a little better, but I haven't.
I think it's it's fine. We'll keep it loose. You know, because what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, you've been loose. You just got no excuse. Actually, only Jesse would know what I'm doing here. That was a Supertramp song.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know the hits.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't even remember that much.
Despite having like a lot of Supertramp on vinyl, like I have all my parents' old Supertramp albums.
Yeah, your dad really likes indelibly stamped.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of that one.
Yeah. Which I actually have never listened to it.
Your Papa Don't Mind. That's the hit off that.
Your Papa don't mind.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick Davies has a completely different voice than Hodgson's. Rick Davies is like,
Well, your Papa don't mind if you do as I.
1 minute. It's funny because there's still audio, but there's no video. Or it's on the thing there.
okay, we're in tune.
All right.
Getting in tune to the straight and narrow.
Cool.
Not wearing shoes. Okay.
So we're starting right with the songs.
Yep.
Okay.
My Friends. That'll be the first thing.
Cool. The live video should start soon.
Ideally.
That's what the Facebook page says. 1 minute. Come on, Facebook. I should have just hit there should be like a go live button, but forget. Waiting for the.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Waiting for the rapture.
Waiting for that's right. At exactly 6 o'clock. All right, Facebook. What are you doing? Facebook.
We're not there yet. It's not 6 yet.
Oh yeah, it says 6 on my laptop or on my iPad.
Okay.
Oh. What do I see? Okay.
Okay.
I don't see any. Oh, there it is. Wait, it's doing a thing.
It's doing something.
Yeah, it's doing a thing. We are officially live now.
Okay.
Go for it.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
My friends, don't just sit there and ruminate with your navel to contemplate. It's a beautiful day outside. Time's passing you by. Come on out. Don't just sit there catatonic. I'm feeling supersonic. A warm wind is sweeping by. The sun's full in the sky, and there's no way of knowing, no way to know how long it'll last. There's no way of knowing, no way to know how long it'll last. Come on out. Don't just sit there and decompose. Go throw on some summer clothes. I would enjoy your company, but please hurry, 'cause there's no way of knowing, no way to
again? Time did you begin again? Time did you begin again? Time did you kick out again? You can feel this, 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 you can. No way of knowing, no way to know how long you last. Can feel this, you can feel this, you can feel this, how long you last.
All right.
Yay!
So,
We did a thing.
so I assume some people are watching, hopefully.
Yeah, we got 4 people.
All right, good. Almost at our goal of 5, so that's terrific. Okay, so the whole point of this show is it's kind of like the kind of thing a DJ would do on the radio or a VJ would do, playing the videos, playing. It's great that the reverb from the vocals are still on. That's hilarious.
Uh-oh, hold on a second. Ah!
What's going on?
The volume is on this. I'm trying to watch for the comments, and the volume was up, so
Okay.
it was playing, Anyway, here we go. All right.
This is a professional
Got it.
studio.
Yes, we're...
Okay, so I'm gonna.
It's new.
Gnu. I always say gnu. Okay, I'm
John
gonna.
said spring is
I'm
9
gonna
days away.
like.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna explain why we like these songs and why we're doing them. So first of all, let's introduce ourselves. Ian Strung, Sean Hook Carlton from Starship Experience, Mike Kwan from Mendoza's and Wasting Time. We've played all these songs before. We spent many years doing annual covers shows that were Canadian, and that's why we decided to do this, because it would be more like relearning than just learning it, and why not, right? So, what we just did was First Day of Spring, Gandharvas, right? Is this the camera?
That's the camera.
Okay.
That's the official one.
So I'm going to put down my pick, and we're going to keep an eye on this clock so that it's the right amount of time. So First Day of Spring, I was kind of hoping it would be warm out today when we did this, and everyone would be like, no.
Opposite.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, this album, which was a government-funded album. Ooh. The A Soap Bubble and Inertia, 1994. This is one of my favorite albums ever, from start to finish. It's that good. They're from London, I think, London, Ontario. And this is one of the most arty albums you'll ever listen to. Like, they play cans, they play a book. There's the circus song, which is literally a circus song, but it sort of ranges from epic rock to the song Dallying, which is more like the Mr. Dress-Up theme. But it's all really good. It's just, the quality is so amazing across the board.
It's pretty eclectic.
It's one of the most eclectic things you can possibly listen to, I would say. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I saw them back in 1997 at Melville Square. You know Melville Square in North York?
Yeah.
They had a bunch of free shows. There was just a never-ending parade of them. Saw them there. I saw lead singer Paul Jago at Holy Joe's in the early 2000s, and I saw him doing Gandharva songs a few years ago. And it seemed like more people... Oh, I'm going to reach for other stuff over here. Hold on. More people were familiar with this album, which this sticker here says it's made with a Factor grant. That's one of Canada's government grants.
Wow, you get a sticker for that.
Yeah. It's
In case you didn't know.
and yeah, there's still a cash converter sticker on here, because I was saying before, you don't replace jewel cases. You just knife through the sticker and that's it. And so it felt like at this last show I was at, more people knew this. This was probably the bigger album with Downtime and Watching the Girl. And this is the US edition, which has 2 extra tracks. One of them is First Day of Spring Again. And that's kind of like a metal version. And most people had the MP3.
No.
Well,
just kidding.
the metal version has that rolling bass line where it's more of a pedal point, and I just wanted you to do the normal bass line.
Okay,
So
fair enough, Ian.
I put down my pick. Where did I put it?
I don't know.
We didn't get to play the fun one. Apparently.
Yeah, so we didn't do the heavy metal one. That would be played at. I guess we got to move on to the next song pretty quickly, but that would be played at night on Toronto radio on the Edge. So you would hear it during the heavy metal nights, and but it wasn't on the Canadian version of the newer album.
John's got the U.S. version from. He got the U.S. version from Amoeba Records for $1.
Yeah, I ordered it from the U.S. assuming it would be the 12-track version, and yep, it didn't cost too much. CDs are easy to collect, you know. It's not. So anyway, the whole.
Nobody wants them anymore,
I want them.
except for you.
Yeah,
Small revival for CD.
Send Strong your CDs.
No, seriously. Okay.
Who said that?
So the whole point of all of this, and we're going to do the next song pretty soon, is we're going to do Treble Charter's Red, which is on this album, NC-17. They started out being called NC-17, and then it turned out they couldn't be called that, so they called the album that. This is on Smokin' Worm and Sonic Onion, distributed by Sonic Onion. I don't always understand the difference between all the different labels on an album, so I'm not going to BS my way through that. But this has Red on it. Anyway, same pattern. There's another version of Red 3 years later on this, but it actually was on the Canadian version as well. Maybe It's Me. And when this version came out, it generally replaced the earlier one on the radio. And when it came time for us to learn it, I suggested the earlier one because. And I remember you had the wrong one. I'm
Yeah,
like,
which-
no.
I had the wrong version, which I didn't listen to the other version enough to really pay attention to what the difference actually was.
Yeah, well, on drums it would have been pretty extreme because the drums don't even come in until the first chorus.
Oh wow.
The 1997 one's very extreme dynamic, soft to loud, as the 90s usually is. And it has better quality, but it cuts out one of the bent riff sequences, so it's a little shorter. And there's strings. And the old one, the dynamics are mostly some backing vocals come in on the chorus. So it's not as extreme. But it's still basically the same song, whereas with the Gandharvas, it's very much now it's metal kind of thing.
Right.
So anyway, why don't we do? Do means to play a song. So we're at 6:11.
Let's do it.
Let's do Red, the NC-17 version.
Do it.
I saw you looking for a light, face painted cigarette white. You asked the cleanest boy you found, couldn't see me, turned around. Fingers stretched against your empty case, but I just can't escape. As the red fades from your wrinkled dress, a picture of the people you've impressed hangs on a wall around you. Vision starts to crawl while I'm in the air, and the evening waits. You get caught up to your own mistakes, made up of different lies. Wouldn't want to keep them by my. got some things I like to say to you. They just can't be true. As the red fades from your wrinkled dress, a picture of the people you've impressed hangs on a wall around you. Vision starts to crawl while I'm here, and the evening waits. You get caught up to your own mistakes, made up of different lies. Wouldn't wanna keep them by my. From your wrinkled dress, picture of the people you've impressed hangs on a wall around you. Vision starts to crawl when I'm here, and the evening waits. You get caught up to your own mistakes, made up of different lies. Wouldn't wanna keep them by my. All right. I think I pulled a muscle in my hand mid-song. If I completed that, that's great. I wish the Timbits were in here. Can we get Jesse to bring the Timbits in? If he heard it, he'll do it.
Yeah, he'll do it.
Can you go get the Timbits? That'd be great if you could.
Oh,
sweet.
yeah,
Superhero.
Timbits.
Yeah, I need sugar for sure.
You can't do the camera.
Too much bending.
Timbit
man.
camera.
But yeah.
Okay, remind me that the standby's on. So, yeah, Red, pretty big classic. That's like a busking classic for Canada. That's the kind of song you see people, I don't want to say playing on the street, but I distinctly remember this near Exclaim magazine. Someone was just sort of playing it. You know, pretty big standard here, I would say.
This video can't get any more Canadian with you like eating Timbits.
Can people see
That's
the
right.
Canadian flag?
They-
I
not-
went to a
not
lot
in
of trouble to
shot,
get
but
this
it's
here.
definitely in the other cameras. They can see it.
Good.
Yeah, it's in at least 2 cameras.
We're full of Canadian pride right now.
Not too much pride, but some.
You came prepared. Anyway.
Yeah, I hope people can see the Canadian flag behind
I was
me.
tempted to wear plaid, but I don't have any plaid.
You mean tartan?
What?
Never mind.
Forever plaid.
Okay. I'm not going to spend the whole concert
Eating Timbits?
eating Timbits.
I'll just put these
Tell us
aside.
about the next song.
Okay, so the name of the episode is Suckin' Up. Canadian rockers, we love you all. So that line is from this next song. So I've got the CDs. I should just.
Just show the CD.
Next one's a bit of an odd choice.
It's an odd choice. I saw the original version of the odds at the X. I happened to know this was the day that Princess Diana died because I figured it out later. I knew that I heard that on the way home from something, and it must have been this. I think they were playing with Pluto and Maid or something. And it's not very good that I'm saying these things to the other people in the room are like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the odds were really cool. They had a bunch of hits around these parts. A few albums in a row in the 1990s. Neapolitan, Bedbugs, Ness, two main guys, Stephen Drake and Craig Northey. The first hit was, I guess, Heterosexual Man. I don't know, they make fun of heterosexual men in that. And it falls apart.
Yeah.
And then in most bands, if they've got two songwriters or singers or whatever, they'll usually alternate singles. But in this case, they seem to alternate the singles for entire albums. So the, not Bedbugs. Yeah, no, sorry. I've got these albums mixed up a little bit here. Anyway, yeah, I'm actually missing one of them. You know what we're going to do? Greatest hits. Here we go. Singles individually wrapped. So anyway, the one with Truth Untold and Eat My Brain, those are both Stephen Drake's, and he's got sort of more of a throaty kind of way of singing. And then Craig Northey did Someone Who's Cool and Make You Mad. And I don't think Drake's in the band anymore. I know he was a producer. He was responsible for the Tragically Hip sound. I hope that's true. I don't want to be making stuff up because I read a book on the Tragically Hip. There's only one book on them, whatever it's called. That's the one I read. And but so there's a new odds with Northey, and probably because of Someone Who's Cool, most people think of it as Northey's band. And when I was explaining, I wanted to do Make You Mad mostly because I remember how the lyrics go because they make logical sense. And I'm not going to forget them, right?
That's the reason to choose a song.
That's what I think.
not, oh wow, this is the best. I fucking love this song. The lyrics make logical sense, so I will remember them.
In 2010, I was in Vancouver and I caught a Vancouver Canucks hockey game, and the odds were like playing in between like whistles, so it's pretty awesome. Just,
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, weird.
they were wearing like Canucks jerseys and totally rocking out for the cameras. It was awesome.
Yeah. The video for me, all these songs have videos. We're doing singles, which are, when it comes to Canadian rock, what that really means is a video because not every city had an alternative station, but you could watch this stuff on Much Music. So this video had the Kids in the Hall in it, and there was it was like a roller rink.
Well, Bruce McCulloch.
Bruce McCulloch directed it, I guess. Yeah, probably.
He's
And
the star, of the video, I mean. But
oh, okay. I thought
the
all of them
heterosexual men had multiple.
were kids who were
Multiple kids.
from the hall who hail from the hall.
Yeah, but I believe Make You Mad just had Bruce McCulloch.
Okay. Well, I don't usually go back and watch the videos. I've got the
homework for this.
Thank you. Somebody did.
Somebody did some
That's
research.
how I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna do that, and I remember because we didn't want to get together too many times to rehearse on various different days and turn the whole thing into like many weeks of kind of boredom. So when I suggested the songs to do, sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I tried to think of what's the quickest way I could say something that would make other people learn the song faster. And I remember I said, okay, there is a chorus, but the first one goes right back around to the verse, and then the second one does an ascending climb where it's every letter and no sharps and flats, and then finally it ends on a jam out kind of thing, which is a very 90s idea. Every Tragically Hip song is like this. It builds up to about a minute of just wailing.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in this, and you don't get the title repeatedly until the very end. So the structure is kind of interesting in a way for Make You Mad by the Oz.
I like it because the drums don't change for like the entire song.
You're giving away
It's great. I love it.
your secrets. As long as the drums don't change.
At least there's a few songs I didn't have to worry about during this set. This is definitely one of them.
So yeah, Make You Mad, and the line, if you think I'm sucking up, I sorta am, which is not the best grammar. I'm pretty sure that violates the ending in a preposition thing. But Or maybe it doesn't, actually.
Oh, man.
Sounds
All
fun.
right.
But I love that line. If you think I'm sucking up, I sort of am. I like that because it excuses sucking up. That's what I like about it. Okay, so
Wish us luck.
Yeah, here we go.
okay, fine. We got to do the thong. Now hold on a sec. We got 35 minutes left. It's this, and then the last two are going to be sort of in a row. So we're not really running out of time that much. But let's go into it.
Let's do it.
First of all, is anyone saying anything?
I
On
don't-
Facebook or
well,
anything?
I mean, John said that's why we like Mike. He's attention to detail.
Okay, so it's mostly John. Hi,
Yeah.
John.
Oh, and Morgan said you're wearing the ears backwards, but I didn't think that was relevant.
Oh, and I also managed to break these, so.
Yeah. Sorry.
Everything in here is Hello Kitty, which is very odd. That's Jesse's thing. Although this clock radio is. Okay, yeah, now we're stalling.
Let's do it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Look outside, it's nice enough, but we'll stay in with all our stuff, 'cause this is dedication more than love.
Oh man.
So we were going to do the last two in quick succession, but now I think we should separate them because we actually have a while.
Yeah, right. I have comments. Morgan says your falsetto is gorgeous.
Oh, really? Thank you.
And Ben says Pat Stewart is one of my favorite drummers of all time.
Okay, good.
And so is Sean. What a coincidence. And so I feel like this is really going to oversell this next track because I am going to butcher this.
Oh, great. Oh, thanks. You say I explicitly asked you not to butcher it, and now you're saying you
It's well, we'll try. I will try.
We try to do these as faithfully as possible, but that kind of goes out the window with the next song.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
I mean, we're doing our own interpretation, sort of.
Right. And as I explained, that's the typical thing to do. Even the band themselves doesn't do exactly as they did on the record.
Yeah, I was doing my homework and I said I found live clips of them just kind of doing it acoustically or no drums or bass.
Yeah, and there was a Chart Magazine CD... Okay, now I'm really digging in my memory here. Big Wheels 99 or something. And there was a version of it there. You needed a physical CD to have any track at all at the time, so it has a source, right? Okay, so who are we talking about? The Rio Statics, right? Okay. So
it's a song in the band, I guess.
Yeah. So we're actually going a little too quickly here. So let's not go from one song right into the next. Let's
set up this one.
set things up. And you know what? I'm going to eat Timbits too.
Tell us about the Rio Statics, because
I talk about them all the time, and I have been doing so for 30 years.
But not online, though.
I guess not.
Or at least not visually.
Well, I interact with them online because most of them, except Kevin Hearn, are friends with me on Facebook. That puts it in the negative. But I mean, okay, fine. I'll list the rest of them, okay? They could be listening, probably not, but... So, who are the Rio Statics? They formed in Etobicoke, okay? Early 80s, so around 40 years ago, so that's a long time. They started out as the Trans-Canada Soul Patrol, and there was a horn section, so it was quite a bit different. Tim Vesley, the bassist, was the only singer at that point. And one thing when we came into, this is Jesse's house, Jesse from Starship Experience, and he'll be playing with us on the last song. When we came in here, we noticed that he's got, and cleverly, I've got CDs on it, so I can't show it, but he's got the West End Phoenix. So we're in the West End right now. We're at Ossington, sort of Bloor, north of Bloor, right? So this is a newspaper that literally is a newspaper. It's not complete nonsense. It's like the North York Mirror. It's not some flight of fancy, but rather a real newspaper for the West End of Toronto, basically. And I live in the far East End, but I order it anyway. And so that's what they're doing these days. Well, I mean, these days, what does that mean? I mean, you've got the pandemic, and most people weren't doing much, or they were trying to, and it got canceled. The last time I saw the full band would have been at the end of 2019 for the Here Come the Wolves release party at the Danforth Music Hall. So they put out a new album with the original lineup, which is Dave Clark on drums. I feel like I started out saying who the members are, and then I abandoned that train of thought. Let's go back to that for a second. So Tim Vesley, like I said, the bassist, the original singer, and Dave Bedini, rhythm guitar, for lack of a better, and Martin Tielli, who is lead guitar, vocals, so kind of like David Gilmour for the Rio Statics, and painting. So the album art, well, the one with record body count on it, Melville. Actually, strangely, this cover is just a small part of a much longer painting, actually. Anyway, the new one, Here Come the Wolves, is probably the best album art I've ever seen. I mean, this guy's awesome. So this is like art for art's sake kind of music, Rio Statics. And so throughout the 80s, they put out some vinyl records and stuff. And 1987, the first album was called Greatest Hits. Yeah. Which that was the only one originally put out on vinyl. I recently on a Discogs binge ordered like a lot of stuff by Change of Heart and this Rio Statics album I was missing, even though it was kind of expensive. I was just so tired of telling everyone, but I don't have this. So it's the CIUT copy of it, which is funny. And anyway, so I don't want to call them a 90s band because they were around in the 80s and they were also around in the 2000s. But, okay, this would be a good opportunity to put down the food. And, well, let me just leave it here because I really do need sugar. Okay. This is a partial discography. If I brought all of them, that would get a little ridiculous. Okay, so this is from 1991 Melville. Drog, Dave's Records of Guelph. And there were a lot of Daves involved in this band. Remember how I said on Facebook yesterday that there's a cliche that every band has two people of the same first name for some strange reason. That's true of the Rio Statics as well. Dave Clark and Dave Bedini. And so they have a song called People's Republic of Dave, which is hilarious. And there's Dave
These
Bookman.
are the names I know.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same.
Yeah.
Does this get any more Canadian?
Now, one thing you got to say about CDs, okay? A lot of people think CDs are junk or whatever, but first of all, they're very long. Like this Whale Music, and here are the two versions of Whale Music, 1992 and 1993. These are 17 tracks. It was eventually put out on vinyl. It had to be a double.
Yeah, that's the problem with vinyl that's been released from like CD. Is that it's always a double album. You can't fit one vinyl on or one CD on one album.
Yeah, well, it wasn't meant to be on vinyl, although that 2010 version of Whale Music sounds amazing. It's just great. The album is filled with feedback and pedal steel with a volume pedal and stuff like that just sounds amazing, like strings that sounds really good in analogs. That was awesome. Right, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and then Introducing Happiness, 1994. Look at that painting. Isn't that good? This fish here. They're very aquatic. You've got this, Melville seems like it's a reference to Herman Melville, who wrote Moby Dick, but it's not. It's a reference to a guy named Lewis Melville, who was it's both. And then who was a musician. Whale Music. One thing that's interesting about these different editions, this is the Intrepid original, and this is the reissue. He updated the painting and hid things in the painting on the new version. Like, you can now see aliens and naked people in the water, which is pretty weird. It changes the number from 1992 to 1993. And what I was about to say was, the inserts for these are really long, and there's tons of stuff in the insert, and that's not really something you have on vinyl, really. You have a gatefold, and there's lots of place for text, but there's something about the CD that was immersive and really interesting. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, you were
a product of our time.
Totally, yeah, exactly.
Three of us here and possibly people watching.
Yeah.
There's still people watching.
So, and the thing about their inserts was that there was so much hidden in it. You have this sort of hooded figure here, and he's in every insert, and it's all very cryptic.
So you're saying they made the most out of the CD packaging?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. It is cool.
The biggest thing lost with streaming is you don't get all that extra stuff. There's no booklet. There's
not a lot of context.
No extra information. I mean, it's the same with streaming movies as well. Like you don't get any behind the scenes. You don't get any of that stuff that people used to get on the CD, on the DVD.
On the DVD, yeah, there was a temporary era where you would ruin every movie by watching shitty behind the scenes immediately after. You would try to tell the guy, "No, we don't care. Do that later." No, we have to. We rented it. Yeah, the bonus features were gone. Yeah, that's true. It's the same. Yeah, there's not a lot of text, if any, on streaming.
Most you get lyrics. That's it.
My uncle was complaining about that too. He said, "You know what we used to do? We used to read the liner notes, and it would tell who was on it, and we'd go get the record by the guy who played it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's true. And he was acting like that doesn't take place anymore. I don't know, does
Yeah,
it?
well, I mean, you know, there's Google. These days, it's just Google.
And then Google's usually wrong.
Yeah,
See,
yeah, true, true.
well, one of the reasons I wanted to do this long discussion is that I feel like for some of this stuff, it's not really on the internet. I mean, yeah, it is to a certain extent, but a subjective experience of Canadian rock music from this period. The internet did exist, but it was a gateway. You dialed into bulletin board systems with your modem, and some of the discussion groups were called things like alt music blur or rec music REM, and you would just go in and it would just be discussion only. There wasn't enough for anything, any pictures or anything like that. But you know what? Some of these people I remember from back then. It's funny. One of the main Rio Statics fans, Mike Whaley. His name is Whaley. I think that's his real name. Even though the Rio Statics use whale stuff all the time.
So that he was meant to be a fan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was born.
So yeah, you know, I hope people don't remember me from the internet back then, though, because I was very young and I was pretty stupid. I remember there was a.
No one,
Okay, now I'm going to remind people anyway.
No one remembers that. You know, there's a whole separate discussion going on.
Oh yeah.
on
Okay,
this.
let's hear it.
It has a lot to do with of the debate about runtime in general. Ben is saying that the 40-minute runtime of vinyl is just better because CDs are just indulgent with.
Well, there
72
was
minutes.
they needed an editor, right? And the logic
Yeah.
of the logic of the CD. I can testify to this, and it would annoy me that my friends would generally. The habit was you just stick the CD in, start from track one, and stop eventually. And that led to
Yeah,
led to
'cause
people
there's so much-
structuring it like
It's true.
all-
There's
yeah.
so many throwaway tracks on the end of a
Yeah.
lot of CDs. Well, even they're talking about like the dreaded double CD. With
Right.
The two disc, right? And you know the debate here is you know like
I can think
name
of
a
a few of those.
CD, name a double album that could not be condensed into one CD.
You mean a double CD
a double
album? There
CD,
aren't
a
that
double
many
CD.
there aren't that many such albums. I know there's Melancholy. There's The Fragile by Nine Inch Nails. I don't know.
Wilco did one.
Yep, Being There. Yep, and that was just barely enough for 2 CDs in terms of running time.
But in terms of like
Oh, Foo
that you could eliminate.
oh yeah, the In Your Honor album,
Yeah, right.
right?
You know, if you could eliminate like sort of the mediocre songs and condense all of that to one album, you'd have like one tight album. Or is the final CD like a total throwaway?
Right, and that's why what you're getting at is these CD albums were totally different in feel. Like it's
Yeah.
not like a Yes album where you have one 20-minute song, one 10-minute song, one 10-minute song, and you always listen to the whole thing. People would it was kind of a disposable format in a way. It was just cheap thrills, you know. You throw it on, the first few songs are the hits, and then you stopped. And a lot of my friends said about Maybe It's Me by Treble Charger. They were like, I listened to that all the way through last night. I'm like, good for you. No, but that was a huge compliment because 14 tracks or 13, I guess.
Yeah, if you go through the whole
Yeah.
thing, you're like, wow, you've got.
Yeah, it feels like an accomplishment.
I think our conversation took a total 180.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Okay,
true.
but I want to stress, though, that that's not the case of these Rio Statics albums at all. One of the biggest things they can possibly do live is the final track of Whale Music, which is Dope Fiends and Booze Hounds, where they mention Dark Side of the Moon, and they mention, I was going to say they mentioned the Islington Bus. That's not true. That's the song Fat, but they...
It's banana buzz.
They say Kipling. That's why I'm thinking that. It's down here on Kipling. It's great. They're from Etobicoke.
Yeah,
And I remember me and my buddy were sort of fans, and on the back of the Greatest Hits CD, they're at the Albion Mall, and they mentioned the Albion Mall in the song Jesus Was Once a Teenager Too. And we went there for no reason other than to see this Albion Mall. And it had a foreign language theater, and there wasn't much to it, but we purposely went up there hoping
Because they mentioned
they mentioned it. Yeah.
That's funny.
So this was before the time of like smartphones, right? Or else you guys would have been taking
Yeah.
selfies in front of the Albion Wall, like we're living the Rio Statics.
Well, the final Rio Statics album contiguously would have been 04, so yeah, most of this would have been well before that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I said, then they came back, 2019, a very good album. And with that one, the vinyl is just shorter than the CD. It's just missing some of the songs. So you kind of just have to have both of them, which I do. The vinyl has 9 and the CD has 12. I was hoping to have a double. But you're looking at a guy who just got into vinyl more, so I actually, the fact that it's double for a single CD is good because it's the best quality you can get. Right. So I got Built to Spill perfect from now on. It's 2 discs, even though it's only 8 songs.
Oh, wow.
So this is for people who think that it matters that the groove is deeper and
yeah, which I mean, it does if you're, but how much are you gonna really?
But yeah, you've touched upon a thing, which is that the CD album had a different feel to it. That people, you might think that it's tough to come up with a bunch of material, but if these are normal length songs and you're not developing something like Dogs by Pink Floyd, I've always mentioned Pink Floyd have no outtakes because how can you? They've got entire albums and nothing else. But back then, fans would write a bunch of songs and they wouldn't, the editing process was painful. They wanted to put more on because, let's face it, one song isn't better than another song. Songs are different, right? And that's why you've got B-sides. Maybe you think the B-side's better than the A-side or something. You can't directly say this is better than that. So they throw everything on there. And
see what sticks.
They didn't need it. Well, I remember Rush did an interview in the CD year, and they said, well, most people aren't listening to vinyl anymore. They're listening to CDs or cassettes. Why should we confine ourselves to the 40-minute vinyl album? So there was very much an idea that this new format means we don't have to edit ourselves anymore. And if you're a big music fan, that's okay.
Yeah.
These very, very long Rio Statics albums are extremely good, and we'll get to the song in a sec.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay. We got 15 minutes left, and we're good. We're good. No, but I should spend more time talking about this because I like these guys.
Let's do it because I'm dreading this one.
Okay. Well, but the song's under 2 minutes.
I am.
Okay. Let me talk about the song itself for 2 seconds.
All right. Okay. You go. We'll go back to you.
So, record body count. So, like I said, their first album. Greatest Hits, sort of cheekily titled, but also not really because these songs were on 7 inches and things. So it sort of was a Greatest Hits in a way. It wasn't necessarily all recorded in wide. Maybe it was, I don't know. But 4 years later, Melville was a lot better. I think a lot of people... I love Greatest Hits. I think it's awesome. It's got a song called Ballad of Wendell Clark on it.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like hosers in a way. But with Melville, things got deeper and more emotional and stuff. And the Rio Statics have an album called Music Inspired by the Group of Seven. You know the Group of Seven? You go up to Kleinburg, you go to the art gallery of... what's the name of the art gallery in Kleinburg again?
Yeah.
McMichael.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Group of Seven are painters, Tom Thompson... who went missing, which is mentioned in the Tragically Hip song, Three Pistols. Okay, now I'm free associating people. Yeah, it's really happening now. Okay. Okay, so I got into these guys when I was...
mental rabbit hole.
I got into these guys when I was like 13, right? And I went to the Art Gallery of Ontario and saw Music Inspired by the Group of Seven. I had my dad take me to that, and Bob Wiseman was on keys for that. And anyway, the fact that it was associated with going to field trips to Kleinburg and doing art and pastels, and the lead guitarist is a painter and stuff, that really appealed to my kind of I'm a kid drawing kind of thing. You can see what I mean by that? And it's like an arty thing. It's almost childish in a way. It's art for art's sake. That's what I'm saying. And... Right, so I was talking about record body count. And what happened in between the first 2 records, it was 4 years. Oh, now you're laughing at me, okay? And this is the last thing I'll say. They traveled the country, and from then on, their music seemed to reflect natural wonders in Canada. It seemed to, they took in... especially the song on Whale Music, King of the Past. He's talking about Louis Riel and stuff. And they became very, very steeped in this kind of they were kind of like the musical Group of Seven in a way. They traveled the country and saw natural wonders, and their music, which has been described as folk, sort of, but really it's a better way to think of it as anthemic rock.
It's real quirky, which is...
It's pretty quirky stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I always said they sound schizophrenic. You know what I mean?
It's quirky. It's real quirky. It's
The first song on Introducing Happiness, it ends with "I hear you," and then it just suddenly starts. But that really appealed to me too, and I'm not going to get into that too much. But I like the fact that it seemed like music for a crazy mind.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't. Clearly, they don't seem to care too much about following any sort of format or any sort of trope. It's very out there, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we better do this.
That leads into this one.
So, Record Body Count with first single. There was a video, Chainsaw in the Ice. Anyway, let's just do the song.
Oh man! All right.
And then we'll move on to the last track, and Jesse will join us for that. We only have 10 minutes left.
I'm scared. Here we go.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Joey pulled himself to his feet, hauled his body back up the bank, and looked back down there. Said the water was not that deep, almost drowned there. You could drown in a bathtub, so they say. Someone in class called me a loser, so I decided.
I think your guitar is real quiet.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be. Did you turn it down on the artist?
How's that?
There we go. I was like, where is Ian's guitar? Okay, we're back.
I know if Wes is watching this, he's going to be real disappointed because he gave me a can of lubricant for that. Okay.
Let's do that again. Here we go.
Okay.
Go for it.
Joey pulled himself to his feet, hauled his body back up the bank, and looked back down there. Said the water was not that deep, but I almost drowned there. You could drown in a bathtub, so they say. Someone in class called me a loser, so I decided to skip the day, skip the day. Tried to look casual, sneaking round the back, shuffled across the track to the gate beside the portables. Put a red tie, school gray slacks, does it blend in with the grass as the teachers change your class. He chased me halfway through the park till I ran into the woods. And I'm very good in the woods, so I was an Indian. Built a fire by the creek and dried my eyes there. There's a record body count this year. There's a record body count this year. Joey stepped up on a block of ice, pulled a rope around his neck, fell asleep before he died. 8 minutes left, one song left. He's going to come in. I'm going to explain what it is. I think we're making good time, and it was good. It was good.
That was all right too. I felt.
I'm glad you
okay
stopped.
about
Yeah, the
that.
amp was conking out. I applied a lot of that lubricant, but it just didn't work.
Well, you can never have too much
Oh
lubricant.
my God! I knew you were gonna make a joke about it. As soon as I said it. Okay. So last thing, and we're gonna end at 7. We don't have to because there's nothing on next. This isn't TV. But, okay, so 5440. If is John still watching there, or you can't tell, or whatever?
I think he's still watching. We're
If not, we bored people over the course of just 60 minutes.
That's okay. We're down to 5 people. We were up to 8 for a little while.
Yeah. If you're still watching, this next one's for
Well,
you.
people can watch it. Okay, so 5440. Neil Osborne's a friend on Facebook, which is cool. This lead singer, 5440. They were Jesse's going to play along with it, and he didn't quite know who they were, so I tried to explain that they were hit makers from 86 onwards, and in the 90s they had several platinum albums in Canada, which is 100,000 copies in Canada, because we're a tenth the U.S.'s population. It's 1 million in the U.S., it's 100,000 here. And in the UK, it's 200,000. So all these countries are sort of related in terms of their certifications, and you can look up what the certification is online. So, Sweeter Things, a compilation, 1991. 17 tracks, backwards chronological, just covering the first 3. So this is a really solid album. The purple cover is not the greatest, but it's really good. So that was platinum. This one I have on vinyl. You can see on my Facebook site. It's a red vinyl. Dear Dear. This is when they went really grunge. Sheila, Nice to Love You. They're, like I said, they're wearing sort of grunge clothes on the insert, and it's a lot heavier. Like I was saying to you earlier, bands who were alternative in the 80s were given the opportunity to be heavier in the 90s, and they wanted to, and I think that was really true of Canadian bands especially, that we went well with the grunge thing because you just wore normal clothes and played loud, and there wasn't too much. It was in the 2000s when you had to wear a suit and stuff, and I couldn't stand that. I much preferred when the Rio Statics were on TV. There was a show called Music Works. Pat Mastery and Naughty, I guess that's his name from Degrassi, was hosting it. What's his name?
Joey.
Yeah, Joey. And they're just wearing like shorts and stuff. I don't know. I thought that was funny because you wouldn't wear shorts on TV today, but it didn't matter because they're so far out that you can wear whatever the fuck they want. Oh, whoops! That's time, Mom.
You can swear on the internet.
Right.
You're allowed.
No, but my mom is watching. Okay, and then so after Dear Dear, Smile and Buddha Cabaret, you know the bar in Toronto, Smile and Buddha Bar? That's probably named after the Vancouver bar that this is named after. This has, remember Ocean Pearl? Radio Love Song, which had the video where it was on TV and a guy just gets up and like makes breakfast or something. This is the one we're playing from, Trusted by Millions. This rules. Love You All, Lies to Me, Crossing a Canyon. This is super heavy. This has my favorite song by them, Stick to Millie.
Which we're not playing.
You know what I just noticed for the first time? Just noticed. Produced by Stephen Drake. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. So that fits in with the odd thing. Remember I was saying he was the architect behind the Tragically Hip sound.
Yeah,
so this was
right.
produced by. So seriously heavy. And then 1998, this was gold in Canada. Since When? Song Since When. So we're going to do Love You All, and that's how we're going to go out. And Jesse
That's how we're going out.
is gonna come in and start playing his 5-string way of playing things.
We're gonna end this because we do love you all.
Yeah, that's the Canadian rockers. We love you all. Yeah, this is us showing that music flows on within us and without us, because it doesn't necessarily. Even if we never wrote a song in our lives, we'd be so into music. Okay. Taking a fashion, breaking it in, all around the world, measure for measure. Getting it out, gotta let you know I love you, love you, love you all. I love you, love you, love you all. Breaking the fences down, yeah, forever. Work together, got the reason, and there's nothing can go wrong. I love you, love you, love
breaking the fences, breaking my neck, breaking over you. This one is in, getting it out, calling around to I love you, love you, love you, oh, I love you, love you, love you, oh, oh, more than life, more than anybody can. Ooh, baby, break me up into little pieces. Ooh, baby, I'm breaking over you, breaking the fences. To what? It happens only once. This one is in. Oh yeah. It's such a surprise that I don't realize that I love you, love you, love you, oh, I love you, love you, love you, oh, oh, more love, more than anybody can, more than wine, more than wine. More than anybody can. Oh, oh, oh. And nothing can stop me now. Ooh, nothing can stop me. Thank you. It's been the Electric Mixtape. .702. All right.
Damn, that felt good. And he's got it.
All right, well, this is monthly. Next month, me and Chris Donovan. Anyway, I'll post something about that later.
Cool.
All right.
All right. We're okay. There's the button that I was looking for. There it is.
Are we done?
We are.
I realized I missed.
Wait, let me press the button. Oh, Ben says that was freaking fantastic.
Okay, good. I realized I completely screwed that up because there was that moment where we were supposed to stop, but you were standing in front of that, and I was not being.